Good morning from Larry Walls and the Redsea Reefer XL 525. And we have a little bit of an update. Of course, we had added the ATI 48-inch programmable T5 light and have had a couple of things change since then. Some corals are really doing well, popping out arms, growing, and flourishing greatly. The whole aquarium seemed to have gone through another kind of a cycle after the light was added. It was a pretty big deal to this aquarium. This guy, for instance, I think he's on his way out. You know, I did a lot to try to keep him happy, and it just seems that one day he was good, next day not good, but obviously he's really not doing well at all. But on the other hand, I have some of my additions, the SPS corals, that are actually doing really well, and I think that they will be doing even better when I go back to the salt that I was using. They're doing okay, but I think they could be doing much better. The light has made considerable difference on all of these things. So I've had divisions and quite a bit of multiplications going on in here, so it's really cool. Let's see if I can get a view over here. I've made some adjustments in my rock work also, pulled some things away from the rock, so I have room to tuck, you know, green mushrooms, a few things back in there, and otherwise everything's still doing great, still using the ice cap. I have my big UV sterilizer down here, maintenance that the other day. So basically, Bird's Nest, I think, was shocked by the light and the fact that I changed my salt mix from the HK. I went with this Fritz salt, and like the very next day, the Bird's Nest shed a lot of its flesh. But that has stopped for now, and a lot of times Bird's Nests kind of do that. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, things are doing really great there. I did a little MacGyver myself the other day with the CPR LED light fixture that goes on the hang on the back refugium. I just wasn't getting what I wanted to see happening down in the refugium area, so I knew that little light was causing all different kinds of algae issues. The light was casting, it was a bulb throughout the entire refugium, or the whole sump area, and I just really was getting too much algae growth everywhere. So I wanted to, you know, this light really focuses on just the area that I want to have lit, so that's been helpful. My mermaid room, see what we did here. This is what that Fritz salt mix does, okay? Actually, I was told that it doesn't do this, but it does. And if you've ever used the HK salt, marine salt, that does not do this. It's the only salt I've ever used that doesn't do this. So if this is well, actually, it's just not okay with me. So I've used some sticky tacky and covered up my RO water brute, because this can never leaves this room. And then we have our still cycling innovative marine. This is the 20-gallon, and there are some other fish in here. They're just so timid. And the corkscrew anemone, it's actually quite large. but it's not one to come out into light. So he stays in this crevice, which apparently was a perfect plan when I created that. And there's purple firefish peeking out. There's also a chalk basslet in there and 2 clarky cloudfish. And this guy loves to host with these mushrooms. Oh, the other guy's in a shell back there. Peeking around. Anyhow, that aquarium's still sort of cycling, and I just am trying to keep it clean, and it is doing fine. It's pretty simple. One thing I've been doing in the Redsea Reefer, I was already feeding the Reefroids by Polyp Lab, and then I saw a video, I think his name is Farm Boy, and he uses this carbon, the Polyp Lab carbon, and while I was on their website ordering the carbon, I came across this product, which is something you add to your tank before you put in the Reefroids. And I have to tell you, the very first time I used it in the Redsea Reefer, I could visibly see my corals like go, what's that? What's up, Doc? You know, it's kind of creepy how everything just awoke, and even the fish were like, wow, crazy. So you add that a minute or so before you add the Reefroids, and your corals are already ready to receive the Reefroids. So I think that has been a big plus with the few SPS corals that I have in here, and the fact that they're popping out. Their polyps are much more extended. Right now, obviously, the daylight's not probably going to show that, but it is something that it is visible. So I guess I'd have to recommend that stuff. Kind of have let's see if we can get a shot. I have maybe not. So basically, that's my update for today. One of my favorite angles of the Redsea Reefer. Oh yes, I wanted to also mention the Vortex. This is the 10, MP10. I just leave it on this end of the tank, and I have a couple places where I can connect the lines depending on where I feel, I'm always rotating the pump. Let it go behind the rocks for a couple days, then move it out here and let it flow to the other side. So I mess around with the flow over here a lot, and I'm obviously very fortunate to work at home, so I have that availability to mess around with my tank during the day. I'll be sitting at my desk and look up and go, I think we need a change. And a quick peek at the paludarium. What do you think? I think I could raise a lizard in here, but I don't want any lizards in here. I have plenty of lizards outside. But I am trying to figure out a way that I can raise this light, because as we can see, the plants are reaching up to the light, and I really don't have any more room. This is the razor on the legs, and my ceiling here, way up there, that's about 14 feet. I'd literally have to figure out a way to make an extension from the back of the stand that I could hang the light from. If anybody has a kind of a cool idea, my environment is southwest. Some people think of it as it's a territorial style house with all the Vegas way up high. So I have, a decor that I kind of don't want to mess with, and just leave these as inconspicuous as possible. My next idea is possibly move that aquarium into the mermaid room and move the clock or something out of this room so I can have this solely as an aquarium setup in here. I just don't really want to move another tank. Any volunteers to come help me? Anyhow, that's my update for today. Lights having good results, feeding Polyp Lab products and using the carbon. So There you go. Everybody's doing good. Happy fish, happy life. Have a great day, everybody.